Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Okay, so we are here at uh, book 5, verse 1, 2, 3, 4. توبه کن بیزار شو از هر عدو کو ندارد آب کوثر در کدو. Repent. See? قدسیه, we were talking about repent. Look. قدسیه, this is for you. This is for you. Repent. Renounce every enemy of God who has not the water of Kosar in his cup. Now, what does it mean? The above 3 verses, okay, we did 2 of them already. The above 3 verses point to the following verse from the Quran. Inna a'tainaka al-Kawthar. We had given you plenty. God has given you plenty, Qudsiya. And for all of us, you, me, everybody. So we have a lot inside us. And then he says, here God asks all humanity, have not I given all you humans my infinite abundance? If that is the case, why is your mouth dry and you thirsty? Because you have egoic mind and you are egotistical and have Pharaoh inside you, and this ego governs your affairs. See, that's what he says here. This means that water-like abundance that comes from divine for whomever who has ego becomes like blood. See, remember here he said, یا مگر فرعونی و کوثر چو نیل بر تو خون گشته است و ناخوش ای علیل. Or perhaps you are like Pharaoh, and for you God's generosity and largesse, like the Nile, has turned to blood and become impure, O sick man. So he says here that uh, this means that water like abundance that comes from divine for whomever who has ego becomes like blood. So this water that is inside us and is supposed to be water and refreshing, because we have ego and we are Pharaoh like, so it turns into blood for us, for the people or whoever has an ego in their being. We turn divine's infinite bounty into sorrow, pain, and misery. We are never joyous, always full of negative emotions like fear, depression, anxiety, and worry about future and regret about our past. So this is basically, we didn't do, let's do the 3 of them here. It's just so we can get this. نتو اعطینک کوثر خوانده ای پس چرا خشکی و تشنه مانده ای. نه تو اعطینک کوثر خوانده ای پس چرا خشکی و تشنه مانده ای. Here not you read the words we have given you generosity and largesse, why then are you dry and why have you remained thirsty. یا مگر فرعونی و کوثر چو نیل بر تو خون گشته است و ناخوش ای علیل. Or perhaps you're like Pharaoh, and for you God's generosity and largesse, like the Nile, has turned to blood and become impure, O sick man. This is, by the way, from book 5, 1, 2, 3, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 3, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4. These are 3 consecutive verses. This verse points to the story in the Bible and Quran that when Pharaoh and Egyptians attempted to drink from the Nile, the water turned into blood, and when Moses and Jews tried to drink the water, it was pure and clean water. Even though Egyptians asked Jews to take water from Nile and gave them to drink it, turned into blood. So we are the one which with our ego turn the bounty and the water, life water that God has put into us, into blood due to the ego. And here he says توبه کن بیزار شو از هر عدو کو ندارد آب کوثر در کدو. Repent, renounce every enemy of God who has not the water of Kosar in his cup. Get away from the people who do not have the largest and the bounty in them. See, that's what he says. And then this is the Quran ayah, the verse we read from uh, chapter 108, Surah 1. And here we belong. So, do you have any question here, my friend? What's yeah? You're good? Okay, good. Just go verse by verse, make sure you get it. ساعتی میزان آنی ساعتی موزون این بعد از این میزان خود شو تا شوی موزون خیش. This is from Divan Shams, poem number 1247. Sometimes you are like a scale for others. Sometimes others like a scale for you. From now on, you become your own scale. Therefore, you will have harmony with your true self, which is your divinity. So, yeah. So here it says sometimes you are scared of others. You are judging others. Sometimes others judge you, which is both ways is wrong. See, the ones who are around you, they are judging you, right? Or you judge them. Both of them is wrong. Say, from now on, you become your own scale. You look at yourself. Don't look at others. Don't be judging others, because then you lose your focus on you and turn it into others. God and Rumi telling us, don't waste your time on others. Focus on yourself. Put your light on you. Put your light on you, because that's what you're here for. You are here to convert yourself to the good, right? To the goodness. Therefore, you will have harmony with your true self, which is your divinity. So that's what Rumi is advising us. Do not waste your time on others, and just be focused on yourself, and try to, and then you have harmony with your true self, which is your divinity. This is another poem. This is another poem from that poem, 1247. گر تو فرعون منی از مصر تن بیرون کنی در درون حالی ببینی موسی و هارون خیش. If you throw out the Pharaoh-like ego from your Egypt-like being. So here, this is the symbol. Pharaoh is the symbol or analogy for ego, and Egypt is the analogy or the symbol of being, our being. Right now, you will see Moses and Aaron, which is Moses' brother, inside you. Okay, so he says, remove the ego from your being, from from yourself, your being, and then as soon as you do that, you will see the Moses and your Moses and your Aaron inside you, Aaron, which is was Moses' brother. He was helping him when he was spreading God's message. Aaron was with Moses, because Moses, he couldn't talk good. You know that Moses had what do you say? He wasn't pronouncing properly, and so he said, God, please give me somebody to help me so I can talk. And then Harun, his brother, was Aaron, is in English in Bible.
It's because he had is that why he says there's a prayer for it, that they say that if you want to have an impactful speech, you should make a prayer.
Yeah. رب اشرح لي صدري
Yes.
ويسر لي أمري وأهلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. That's what he is. This is Quran. You're right. Yeah, that's true. By the way, but even if you can pronounce words properly, you should say it, because the impact of the words, it's got nothing to do with the pronunciation. just using the right word. That's God's gift, and that's the God is give you that ability and the that skill to be able to talk. Sometimes you talk to somebody and there is no, it doesn't work. It's just like you're talking to a wall because you're not even you're not talking properly or the other person doesn't get it. But let's say the other person wants to get it, but you don't have that tool. You don't have that skill. So that's why we should ask God always to give us the skill. Rabba shrih li sadri. But that's what Rumi talks about a lot. This is a very good ghaya, by the way, because the whole purpose of being is to Rabba shrih li sadri, to expand your heart. I mentioned it a lot in my translation. Expansion of heart, expansion of heart. That's a very, if you can, because our job is to expand our heart infinitely, infinitely. There we have the potential to expand our heart infinitely because
So is it easy for me to assume that what you mean by the expansion of the heart means exposure?
expansion of the heart, let's see, means that let me give you an example. Expansion of heart means open space for everything and everybody. If you can, if an event comes to you which is unpleasant to you, okay, and you can open your heart to the point that you can accept it. Now, you might not like, you might want to reverse it, but the first step is to accept it. Sometimes we don't want to accept the event, even we just push it out. So, expansion of a heart is having room for everything, which we do because, but we are not practicing it. Your heart, my heart, everybody's heart has the capacity and potential for infinite expansion. Why? Because Sufi says there is not enough room for God in on earth. There is not enough room for God in heavens. There is enough room for God in our heart. Okay? So your heart and my heart has infinite capacity. Infinite. Means you can open, mean whatever expansion you have, you can have more. Because that's infinity, right? Infinite is means whatever you think that number is, it's more, right? So there we have a potential for infinite expansion. Rumi has a poem. هر کسی در هر کسی در عجبی و هر کسی در عجبی و عجب من این است. Everybody is surprised by something and I'm surprised by this. عجب من این است. کو نگنجد به میان چون به میان می آید. The one who cannot put who the one who cannot room himself inside us, how he got inside, how he put himself inside of us. کو نگنجد به میان چون به میان میاد means how the one who cannot who there is not enough capacity in our body for him has put himself inside of us. Did you get it, Kosia? So this guy, Rumi says that's my surprise. How the heck this happened? It is very strange to me. How we can have room for God, which is infinity, but we are finite. We are a finite being, and we have to room for infinity because there is infinity inside us. Because the this is the beauty. This is the miracle of God that he could put he opened enough space in us for himself, and which is infinity. That's what he says here. یونسی دیدم نشسته بر لب دریای عشق گفتمش چونی جوابم داد بر قانون خیش. This is from the same poem from Divan Shams, from the same ghazal. I saw a person as pure and faithful as Jonah. Yunus, in Quran it says Yunus, Jonah, Jewish prophet, sitting on the shore of the sea of love. I asked him how he was doing. He answered me, I follow my own law. I follow my own law. Jonah is the symbol of freedom from your worldly and material attachments. So here Rumi says, if we if you can if you can detach, if we can detach ourselves, you can detach yourself from all the attachments, then you will follow your own law, which is God's law, by the way. Because it's not that you become lawless. That's not it. Because lawless is equivalent to following your ego, the law of your ego. You minimize your ego to the point that your law is God's law, is equivalent and the same, equal to God's law, because you are removing all the attachments. There is no attachment in your core to nothing, to nothing, to nothing. Meaning there is no attachment to money, to fame, to family, to your child, to your husband, to your mom, to your dad. You love them, but you're not attached to them. That's two different things. As a matter of fact, true love is with no attachment, because if I love somebody and I try to control them, attach to them, that's not love really, that's control. Love is just giving without any expectation, right? We just don't ask for nothing. Free.
So true love is selfless?
Exactly, selfless. Very much so, yes. Very much so. That's what, godly love in Rumi and other Sufis says, I don't want nothing from you. I just want you. Just want to have you, see you, be with you, face you, talk to you. Yeah, absolutely, self. Because our problem is the self. By the way, the fake self, not the good self. There is two self in us. There is nafs and there is nafaqtu bin ruhi. There is God, there is nafs, ego, and God, the spirit. There's two different things. These are totally opposite. Which is one is a stinking mud, the other one is God's spirit, God's soul. Totally different. Which they say with self, which self? Which self? You're talking about your true self or your fake self? Yeah, fake self is, you have to get rid of it and forget about it, as they say. Are we good here? Now we go back to the poem. مهر تو جان نهان بود، مهر تو بی نشان بود، در دل من ز بهر تو نقش و نشان چرا چرا. مهر تو جان نهان بود، مهر تو بی نشان بود، در دل من ز بهر تو نقش و نشان چرا چرا. Oh, your love like life is hidden and concealed, and your love is without any form and sign. Why in my heart and inner being I imagine you as a form and imaginary face. So he says, you are without any form and sign. Why I see give you a form? You see, because here, okay, let me see what he means here. Maybe he explains it better than me here. Your love here means the divine is hidden. On the other hand, the material and worldly love is showed and displayed. Shown, I'm sorry. Shown and displayed. For example, we tell each other, if you love me, show it. We give me a gift. Rumi here tells us that we are interested in showed and displayed, showing and displayed love, not displaying love, not the godly life, love which is hidden and concealed. So he says here, the God's love is hidden and concealed. It doesn't show. It doesn't show because in our worldly and material world, when we when somebody loves us, we say, okay, if you love me, why don't you give me a gift? So don't show me, show me, show me, show me how you love me, right? Show me. But he says this is our interpretation because we are bringing love to this material and physical level, which is pretty low, right? God's love and and he is without any form and signs. Is inside of us. Additionally, your love has no sign like material. Additionally, your love has no sign like material and worldly love. Oh, this is no name. I'm not going to admit it. No. That interpreting. No. Sorry. Additionally, your love has no sign like material and worldly love. Nobody cannot see this kind of divine love. Additionally, your love has no sign like material and worldly love. Nobody cannot see this kind of divine love. Therefore, why I imagine you as a form, an illusion, an imaginary face, and I have created a God in my own mind. We have to constantly ask these questions from ourselves until we get to the bottom of it and find out why we have been separated from our true love. So basically, Rumi here it says, Otsia, he says, we are we are we because we see ourselves as a form. In reality, we are not form. In reality, if we see we are light, but in the outside, apparently we see at the body, right? Because we're seeing with this eye, physical eye, we are truly light because we are from the same essence as of God and divinity and the divine. But see, we since we see ourselves as a form, so we think and we assume God is a form like us. Some people think God is like a human, right? A human. You see these pictures that God is like an old man and sitting in the sky or something. Eh, God is not a body. God is totally purely light. الله نور السماوات والارض. God is the light of the heavens and earth. And by the way, not this earth, not this light that we get even from the sun. They say God's light is billion times stronger than light of a sun. It's billion times. It's just unimaginable for us because we haven't seen him. It's not. We cannot even fathom it, as they say in English. We cannot fathom how is God's light.
So I have a question. I am learning a lot about like the energy fields, and everybody's talking about like how we have an energy field and there's a frequency and we attract. And is this concept derived from the fact that God is energy
Absolutely.
and everything is just energy and we all have energy, we emit energy, we consume energy?
We are energy. See, we are energy that my dad used to say. This is not me, by the way. My dad used to say, we are energy, but on the surface, the energy has become hardened. So makes the body. That's why, that's why, Qudsiya, if you look, the Sufi says, a true Sufi, which has gotten rid of his ego, can instantly move from one place to the other, and let's say say thousands of miles away, say go from here to Europe, and can make the body on the new location. Because the body, which is the hardened surface of the energy, is created by the energy, which is a soul. And because we say soul, it's all the same. It's all interchangeable, synonymous. How energy, uh, soul, spirit. What is the other one? Frequency, because frequency is energy too, right? Frequency, absolutely. We are frequency, and we cannot see it, but I'm sure you have been sitting with somebody which gives you a good feeling. Haven't you seen somebody that give you good feeling? What is that? That they don't say, maybe they don't even say anything. They just sit in front of you, and they give you good energy. That's their energy, right? That's emitting of their energy to you, and you can do the same thing if you purify your heart and you uh, minimize your ego and you detach and you empty your core from all the attachment, and you become godlike, which we are in essence, then you emit positive, warm, kind energy to everybody. Rumi says, Rumi says, the communication with the tongue, with the language, that's the lowest way of communicating. We communicate in thousands different ways. Thousand different ways. Yeah, when you sit in front of a person and you feel good without even I be honest with you. When my dad, God bless his soul, he passed away in 2005. And before his death, I used to work from Monday to Friday, the weekdays, and the weekends I wasn't married at the time, and I used to sit uh, with him and we read Rumi. And I have a younger sister. He told me, Akbar, why don't you go out and meet, you have to get married. Why don't you go and, meet ladies and this and that, go out and da da da. And I told my sister, I cannot go. I cannot. There is a magnet in my father. I cannot get away from him because I was working the weekdays and the weekend when I was sitting in front of him, I could not leave him. He was a magnet. He had so much God in him that it just captured you. So I see it with my own eyes. I couldn't. I was a young man. I mean, this is 20 years ago, more than that. And my dad passed away. Yeah, more than 20. Yeah, about 20, 25 years ago, and I could not leave him. I just sitting with him. It was so enjoyable for me, and reading Rumi. And I tell you, whatever I learned from him, a lot of it was not words. We just sitting with him because I happen to live with him, and I happen to be around him, and I get so much from it just by virtue of being next to him. What do you say? Osmosis, osmosis, right? Just being, and you can get it from anybody. Let me tell you, if you find somebody, that's why. If you can find somebody which is spiritual, do not do not leave them. Get them as much as you can. I mean, you don't want to be, like a bother. I mean, it's disrespectful, right? But if you can stay with them, that's why before the the students, the disciples used to go and work for the qutb, clean his house, go accompany him, go take him here, take him. They just to be with him. They knew it. They knew just being with a pure person is priceless. And it's hard to find somebody like these. I'm sure there is people like that all over there. God won't let us without lights. These are lights of the world, but it's very hard to find. They are hidden. They're hidden. They're not showing up because we are not. My dad. There is a hadith from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It says, "Awliya'i tahta qubabi." My friends are covered, are hidden, because God doesn't want the strangers, the people who have evil in their heart to bother them. So they keep them away. Yeah. So, all right. So let's just stop here because it's 7:59. If you have any question, comments, did I go slow now? Was
Say
it?
that again?
Did I go slow enough for you so you can
No,
understand?
it was very good. This was the perfect pace,
Yeah, right.
100%.
All right. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm not I'm not rushing to finish anything. We just want to enjoy ourselves and learn slowly. Sometimes, I think you're right. I like to, there's I like to teach as much as I can, which is not really. I don't think it's not
But these
helpful.
are these are very powerful teachings.
Yeah, it's very
So
powerful.
yes, yes,
But
yes.
but I don't want to leave people behind. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to. I'm a human being, and I'm obviously very very imperfect. I know that. So I'm just trying to learn better every day to do this
No,
job.
this is a beautiful class, and I think the goal we should have for this class is to form a community. of those organic followers that want to be here.
Okay.
I don't think that it is about quantity. I think we should focus on quality, but of course we need to attract the right people that want to learn this, that
True.
want to become they want to become like a community
Yeah, it
for
is a
this
community. It's a
particular
community.
class. So
It's
exactly.
that's why I
So
call them circle of Rumi lovers, because it's a circle. In Zikr, Sufis sit in a circle. So they want to be all connected to each other. It's a circle, and yeah, absolutely, it's a community. And yeah, I just wanted to spread the word as as much as possible, and have more. You know, that's a good goal, to have more people be exposed to this uh, teachings, because I think these teachings, I really believe these teachings will save the world. Believe it or not, I think this teaching will save the world, because the world is we are living in a complicated world right now, as everybody can witness. I think this is a saving grace of God. I'm thinking, if you want to say it in biblical term, it's a saving grace. It's something which saves humanity from itself, because we can really damage. And look at what we have done to ourselves, what we have done to the environment, to the climate, to whatever. And humans are dangerous, to themselves. So this is Rumi is teaching us the technology of controlling the ego and saving our race. It's no question about it. I mean, this 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 is a God's gift to humanity, and he happens to be Persian. I mean, he wasn't Persian really. He was spoke Persian, spoke Farsi, but lucky for Persian, Farsi speaking people of the world can hear his message in his native tongue, and the way it came to him. But really, it's for the whole humanity. It's unbelievable. All right. So I know it's you're in East Coast. It's 11 o'clock there already.
no. This is beautiful. Like I can be here all day, all night. Like I love this class so much. So yeah, no worries.
Thank you so much. So, do you have any suggestions, any comments, any?
No, I think that we will just pick up here next time. And if I have any questions, I will write them down. And in our next session, toward the end in our discussion, I'll bring them up to you.
Okay, that's good. So let me just give me a second. Let's